Moving on from the bulky Pro Traxion to the Mini Traxion, then the Micro Traxion, and now the Nano Traxion. The question remains, can Petzl cut any more weight to make a femto traction?
Hello there. Today I'll be doing a rather short talk discussing a rather small piece of gear. Here we have the Petzl Nano Traxion, a progress capture device, which is the smaller sibling of the much more popular Petzl Micro Traxion. Both of these devices are progress capture pulleys, which if you have not heard about progress capture pulleys before, they're pretty neat devices. In this case, they have quite low amounts of friction, as you would hope for a pulley, but the rope can only travel one way through. If we can look kind of in detail here at the Nano Traxion, you can see there are teeth and then a mechanism that can move up and down surrounding a smooth surface. So a rope can travel through here, but it can't go backwards. The Petzl Micro Traxion has become a favorite of many in the outdoor industry for its high efficiency, low weight, packability, and just overall functionality. The Nano Traxion improves upon this in some ways in that, well, it's smaller, weighs a little bit less, but still maintains many of the useful properties that the Micro Traxion has. That being said, there is one key difference that I'll talk about in a sec between the Micro Traxion and the Nano Traxion, but most people probably won't be too affected by it, so if you want to save a little bit of weight, get a bit smaller. Talking about weight, the Micro Traxion weighs in around 85 grams, whereas the Nano Traxion comes in about 53. So it is a savings in weight, and if you are counting gram by gram on one of those extremely fast and light missions, this will be helpful for you. Both of these devices have a quoted efficiency of 91%. So in that case, if you were pulling with a force of 100 newtons, 91 would be transferred through the device, and you'd lose 9 newtons within it. So that's actually pretty good for commercial pulley. To use the Nano Traxion, pretty easy process. Just fold the device out, take rope. In this case, we have a 8mm semi-static line. You can thread it through, gauge the teeth, put that back, add a carabiner. Now we have progress capture system. So in this case, the teeth block any motion in this direction, but we can still pull this way. Kind of the main principle behind the progress capture devices. You just have unidirectional motion. If you were to take out the device, unloading it, same sort of way, pull back our teeth, take our rope out, there we go. In terms of compatibility for ropes, the Micro Traxion is rated for 8 to 11 millimeter rope diameters, whereas the Nano Traxion is rated 7 to 11 millimeter diameters. So you can have slightly smaller ropes using the Nano Traxion, but for most applications, they're pretty much the same. One thing to take in mind too is that both of these devices are compatible with Petzl's rad line, which is their ultralight 6mm cord, which makes it really handy if you are in the winter doing a ski mountaineering trip where you want to have some equipment in case you have to haul someone out of a crevasse. In that case, both of these devices will work with the rad line, and given how small both of them are, and especially how light the Nano Traxion is, your entire system could be pretty light indeed. Another specification that is good to know is the braking strength, how much load these devices can hold before they would fail, which thankfully both of these devices have the same braking strength, which is quoted as being 15 kilonewtons, which is quite a large load indeed. So generally, if you were to work up to something like that, you're going to be dynamically loading the system, and some other part of the system might fail before this device does. The other important specification to consider is the braking strength while used as a progress capture device. In that case, this value is indicative of how much load the device can hold with its teethed structures here. For both these devices, the braking strength while used as a progress capture device is 4 kilonewtons, which is also quite a large value, and chances are something else in your system will probably break before this device does. One thing to note, whenever you are using mechanical devices with teeth on them as the load limiting part, You do run the risk, if you ever were to dynamically load these devices, of tearing away the sheath of your rope, which can cause significant damage to the rope. So keep in mind, whenever you're having these, you're trying to avoid dynamic loads whenever possible. Keep things nice and static, and you have less issue. In terms of durability, both these devices use similar materials, just scaled down in size. I've used the micro traction for, I think, 4 years on this device, and I have not had any trouble with it, which I imagine the Nano Traxion will behave the same. Don't have any reason to suspect otherwise. I was alluding to earlier, there is one difference between how the Nano Traxion functions compared to the micro traction. In this case, on the micro traction, you are able to actually lock the teeth away to turn this device from a progress capture pulley into a regular pulley. In that case, you do that by pulling this and engaging this toggle on the top. Now you can see the teeth are stuck up. So we take the same rope as before, our 8mm semi-static cord, put it through the device, lock it with the carabiner. You can see here, the rope is able to pull through, and there's no progress capture in this case. The teeth are locked away. The Nano Traxion is not able to do this function. It's all progress capture all the time. That being said, usually, at least for my purposes, if I was going to be in a situation where I would need a dedicated pulley, I'd always have the micro traction paired with a dedicated pulley, or the Nano Traxion paired with a dedicated pulley. So I'm not too bothered by the Nano Traxion not being able to do this. As you might expect, you're able to disengage the tooth lock mechanism, which will then turn the device back into a progress capture. So the micro traction can do that, the Nano Traxion cannot.
Pretty much if you are building a dedicated haul system, ascending a rope, or just trying to raise a backpack, the Nano Traxion is a snazzy piece of gear to have, and I think I'll be carrying it quite often year-round.